141st Joe Marler 5 out of 10 came into the series with a chance of being the first-choice loose head, but got nowhere near the test side, and his yellow card against the Chiefs proved costly to his own chances. Solid in the scrum but could have done more. Getty. 241st Jack McGrath 6 out of 10 utilized as the test replacement, but his impact on the tour as a whole could have been bigger. Did a reliable job though, and will be pleased to have featured in all 3 tests. Getty. 341st Mako Vunipola 7 out of 10 in up and down series. Brilliant performances in the first and third tests, but let himself down in the second with a yellow card and repeated penalty offenses. On the whole though, he has been one of the more impressive players and can be proud of his contribution. Getty. 441st Rory Best 6 out of 10 trusted by Warren Gatland to lead the midweek side and will have been delighted with the heavy victory over the Chiefs. His line-out throwing had a good consistency to it, which can sometimes be his weakness. Getty. 541st Jamie George 8 out of 10 a really impressive series from a man who is yet to start for his country. The hooker started all 3 tests, played the entire second game and was brilliant both at the line-out and in the loose. Ran out of gas come the end of the tour, but he must surely be in line for his first England start now. Getty. 641st Ken Owens 6 out of 10 like Marler. Used for backup in the tests, although the fact that Jamie George stayed on for the entire second test put him into the shade somewhat. Another leader whose skills shone through early in the tour as he captained the side in the second match. Getty. 741st Dan Cole 6 out of 10 unfortunate not to feature in the test series given he offered stability in the scrum and a good breakdown effort. His habit of giving away a penalty here and there probably cost him. Getty. 841st Tadhg Furlong 9 out of 10 a candidate for player of the series who has garnered so much adoration from the Lions fans that he now has his own song. His battle against Joe Moody was brilliant to watch, and he has done his reputation the world of good with his powerful carrying and ability to bump off attempted tacklers. Getty. 941st Kyle Sinclair 7 out of 10 his breakthrough moment in terms of his career, and the fans have taken to him like ducks to water. Still needs to work on his discipline as he nearly cost his side after winning the penalty that secured the second test, but on the whole it's been a good tour for him. Getty. 1041st Maro Itoje 9 out of 10 the coming of age of someone who will undoubtedly go on to be a great of the game. Harshly overlooked for a starting spot in the first test, and proved a point with standout performances in the last 2 matches. Showed his growing maturity as he took on line-out responsibilities, and this certainly won't be his last Lions appearance. Getty. 1141st Ceylon Wyn Jones 8 out of 10 recovered from a nervy start to the test series to put in 2 committed performances and prove why he will be remembered as a Lions great. Third test came as his 9th consecutive test start for the Lions, a professional era record, and the only downer was that what is likely to be his last Lions appearance ended with him being knocked out illegally by Jerome Kano. Getty. 1241st George Cruz 6 out of 10 brilliant against the Crusaders and also had a good outing against the Maori All Blacks, but his off performance in the first test cost him, and barring a run-out in the Hurricanes' draw, his tour was over. Probably hasn't delivered on his true potential, which is a shame. Getty. 1341st Courtney Laws 7 out of 10 had to cope with being knocked out in the game against the Highlanders, but the way that he bounced back to force his way into the test fold caps what has been a brilliant season for the England international. Emphatic carrying and strong tackling set the tone for his eye-catching displays. Getty. 1441st Ian Henderson 7 out of 10 perhaps the unluckiest player not to feature in the tests. He played brilliantly against the Hurricanes, only for a yellow card for a dangerous clear-out to cost him. And he also put in standout shifts against the Maori and Chiefs. Getty. 1541st Sam Warburton 8 out of 10 will go down as one of the great Lions captains. Led by example and was honest enough to admit he was not ready for the first test. Has carried himself impeccably well, and his performances against the All Blacks were as committed as is humanly possible. A credit to himself. Getty. 1641st Peter O'Mahony 6 out of 10 from skippering the Lions in the first test. O'Mahony disappeared from the tour and paid the price for the defeat. That said, he was impressive in the wins over the Crusaders and Maori, and his selection was on merit. Getty. 1741st James Haskell 6 out of 10. His best performance came against the Chiefs, though he started the tour looking a little bit tired, having featured in the Premiership final. His dream was to play on the Lions though, and he can return home with his head held high. Getty. 1841st Ross Moriarty 5 out of 10. Tour was ended after 80 minutes after he failed to recover from the back injury he suffered in the very first match against the Provincial Barbarians. Unfortunate, but he is young enough to get another chance. Getty. 1941st Sean O'Brien 8 out of 10. Brilliant in the first two tests and a real nuisance for the All Blacks, both with the ball and without. O'Brien was able to carry well to get over the gain line, and slowed opposition possession down when it mattered. Unlucky to take a whack to his shoulder that ended his third test at halftime. Getty. 2041st Justin Tipuric 6 out of 10. He led the charts when it came to completing tackles and also proved a useful weapon in the lineout. However, he was a step off the pace at the breakdown and that cost him any chance of featuring in the tests. Getty. 2141st Taulupe Faletau 7 out of 10 minimized the absence of Billy Vunipola with great consistency and good control of the ball. His impact could have been greater at times, but he also did very little wrong and was able to produce quick ball in the scrum when the Lions were under pressure. Has enjoyed a strong tour. Getty. 2241st CJ Stander 7 out of 10. The workhorse of the Lions backed up to play in 3 consecutive matches towards the start of the tour, and made a big impact during the midweek matches that gave the side momentum when they needed it. Getty. 2341st Connor Murray 8 out of 10 came into the tour with a high billing and delivered with 3 strong showings. Good control at the ruck and produced good, clean ball. Wasn't given too many chances around the edges, but his box kicking was on point throughout. Getty. 2441st Reese Webb 7 out of 10. A very useful replacement in the test series, scoring a try in the first test and smartly winning the penalty that earned the draw in the decisive third test. Brought a lively energy to the team when he came on. Getty. 2541st Greg Laidlaw 5 out of 10 slowed the Lions' possession down and simply wasn't up to speed with pace of Southern Hemisphere rugby. His slow delivery of the ball meant that the Lions were put on the back foot. Getty. 2641st Dan Biggar 7 out of 10 when he played. Biggar was impressive and had a very strong tour. The only problem was that he was playing behind 2 world-class fly halves. But he can be proud with his input on this tour. Getty. 2741st Owen Farrell 7 out of 10 did well to cope with the positional switch from fly half to center, and the uncertainty looked to unsettle him a touch, with the performance in the third test far from his best. However, he held his nerve superbly to kick series-deciding penalties in both the second and third tests, and you can't doubt his ability to stand up as a match winner. Getty. 2841st Johnny Sexton 7 out of 10 got off to a shaky start with a poor showing against the Provincial Barbarians, but his claim that jet lag was behind it was vindicated as he came to the fore in the test series, forced his way into the starting lineup for the second test and offered an extra dimension that produced the victory in Wellington. A very good tour for the Irishman. Getty. 29-41 Ben Teo 7 out of 10. What an impact he made over the course of the first 4 weeks. And he certainly made sure Sonny Bill Williams felt his presence in the first test as he gave him a ferocious going-over. Unfortunate to miss out in the second test, but he has justified his surprise selection supremely well. Getty. 30-41 Robbie Henshaw 5 out of 10. He came into the tour as a candidate for the test side, but was an unfortunate casualty of playing in the midweek side when he tore his pectoral muscle against the Hurricanes. His tour was sadly over. Getty. 31-41 Jonathan Davies 9 out of 10. The Lions as he won the team's player of the series, and he was nothing short of exceptional throughout the series. Even though he went under the radar, gave the All Blacks backline a nightmare with his ferocious defending, and his ability to straighten the line brought its rewards for the Lions. Getty. 32-41 Jonathan Joseph 6 out of 10. Unfortunate not to receive more rugby, given he scored against the Highlanders with a well-taken finish, yet he did not feature again on the tour afterwards. Only the Lions will know why. Getty. 33-41 Gerard Payne 6 out of 10 has struggled with calf injuries on the tour but still scored a try against the Chiefs and did make a good contribution until migraines cut his tour short in Wellington. Getty. 34-41 Elliot Daly 8 out of 10 seized his chance against the Chiefs to force his way into the test side and has 3 Lions test starts to his name. Delivered on his reputation as a long-range kicker with an exceptional 52 meters penalty in the third test, and his running caused the All Blacks plenty of problems. Getty. 35-41 Anthony Watson 8 out of 10. His dazzling footwork flummoxed the All Blacks at times and he was unlucky not to bag a try in the test series. Caused plenty of problems though, and he also deserves credit for his defensive awareness to get himself into the right positions. Getty. 36-41 George North 5 out of 10. This tour will be a disappointment on a personal level for North, given so much more was expected of him. He looked a little hesitant in contact early on, but grew into the tour and suffered when he had to play at center against the Hurricanes before suffering a tour-ending hamstring injury. Getty. 37-41 Jack Noel 6 out of 10. His best performance came with his double try salvo against the Chiefs, and he did enough to oust Lee Halfpenny as the replacement back and get himself 2 test caps as a result. Perhaps unlucky not to see more rugby. Getty. 38-41 Tommy Seymour 6 out of 10 scored 3 tries for the midweek side and unlucky not to be in the mix for the test. Good awareness to snap the ball out of the air to score against the Highlanders. But apart from scoring tries, he didn't contribute enough to force his way into contention. Getty. 39-41 Lee Halfpenny 6 out of 10. By his standards it was a disappointing tour as he lost his place at fullback and was left out of the test squad completely for the second and third tests. However, he retained a 100% kicking record that shouldn't be knocked. Getty. 40-41 Stuart Hogg 5 out of 10. Wasn't enjoying the best of tours when he ran head first into Connor Murray's elbow and fractured his eye socket, resulting in him leaving the tour after just 2 weeks. Getty.